For 15 years, Clara Jenkins scrubbed floors and emptied trash cans at Pinnacle Solutions, invisible to the executives who passed her in the halls. They called her the Janitor, never suspecting that the woman with the mop held the power to topple their world. On a chilly October morning in 2025, Clara walked into the boardroom, not with a cleaning cart, but with a secret she'd kept for over a decade. A secret that would leave the CEO jobless and the company reeling. Grip. Clara Jenkins had been at Pinnacle Solutions for 15 years. Every night, she clocked in at 6 p.m., her navy uniform pressed, her badge clipped to her chest. She pushed her cart through the gleaming offices of the tech firm, emptying bins, wiping desks, and vacuuming carpets. To the employees, she was just the janitor. They rarely made eye contact, and when they did, it was fleeting, as if she were part of the furniture. But Clara didn't mind. She had a plan, one she'd been building since the day she first stepped into the building. In 2010, Pinnacle Solutions was a struggling startup with big dreams and bigger debts. Clara, then 38, was a single mother working 2 jobs to keep her daughter, Maya, fed and clothed. Her day job at a diner paid the bills, but the night shift at Pinnacle was her lifeline. The company's founder, Richard Hargrove, was a wiry man with a knack for coding and a vision for revolutionizing data analytics. He'd hired Clara directly, impressed by her work ethic when she cleaned his tiny office after hours. "Clara, you're a godsend," Richard had said one evening, handing her a coffee. "This place would fall apart without you." She'd smiled, nodding. "Just doing my job, Mr. Hargrove." But Richard saw more than a janitor. Late one night, as Clara polished the conference table, he'd sat down, exhausted from a failed investor pitch. "We're bleeding money," he admitted. "If we don't get funding soon, Pinnacle's done." Clara listened, her hands steady on the cloth. "You believe in this company, don't you?" she asked. "With everything I've got," he said. "Then don't give up," she told him. "Find a way." Richard didn't know it, but Clara had been saving every penny she could. Her diner tips, her overtime pay, her tax refunds. She'd tucked it all into a savings account. She wasn't educated in the traditional sense, having dropped out of high school to care for her sick mother, but she was sharp. She read books on finance at the library, listened to business podcasts while scrubbing floors, and watched the markets. When Richard mentioned a last-ditch effort to raise capital by selling private shares, Clara made a decision that would change everything. "I want in," she told him the next night. Richard blinked, confused. "In? Clara, this is risky. You could lose everything." "I know," she said. "But I believe in you. And I've got $12,000 saved. I want to invest." He hesitated, but Clara was insistent. "It's my money, Mr. Hargrove. Let me decide what to do with it." Against his better judgment, Richard agreed. Clara signed the paperwork, becoming a silent shareholder with a 2% stake in Pinnacle Solutions. It was a gamble, but she trusted her gut. She kept cleaning, kept saving, and kept quiet. By 2015, Pinnacle's software had caught the attention of major corporations. The company went public, and Clara's shares skyrocketed. She didn't sell a single one. Instead, she reinvested her dividends, quietly accumulating more stock through private deals with early investors who wanted out. By 2020, she owned 15% of the company, enough to make her the largest single shareholder. But no one knew. Not Richard, who'd retired to a vineyard in Napa. Not the new CEO, Bradley Thornton, who'd taken over in 2018. Not even Maya, who was now in college, studying computer science on a full scholarship Clara had secretly funded. Bradley Thornton was everything Clara wasn't. Ivy League educated, polished, and loud. He strode through Pinnacle's offices like a king, barking orders and demanding results. He'd transformed the company into a tech giant, but at a cost. Layoffs, outsourcing, and corner-cutting became the norm. Employees whispered about his temper and his obsession with stock prices over product quality. Clara heard it all, her ear to the ground as she cleaned the break rooms and executive suites. "He doesn't care about us," one engineer muttered to another as Clara emptied a trash can nearby. All he cares about is his bonus. Clara said nothing, but she took note. She'd been watching Bradley for years, tracking his decisions through shareholder reports and board meeting minutes she accessed as an investor. She attended every annual meeting, sitting in the back, her janitor's uniform swapped for a plain blazer. No one connected the woman with the shareholder badge to the one who mopped their floors. In 2023, Bradley pushed through a controversial merger with a rival firm, Datacore. The deal promised to boost Pinnacle's market share but came with a catch: massive layoffs and a shift to cheaper, less reliable software. Clara read the fine print. Datacore's tech was outdated, and their client base was shrinking. She suspected Bradley was chasing short-term profits to inflate his stock options. At the shareholder meeting, she raised her hand. "Ms. Jenkins," the board chair acknowledged, glancing at her name on the roster. "You have a question?" "Yes," Clara said, her voice steady. "How does the Datacore merger benefit long-term growth when their technology is 3 generations behind ours?" The room went quiet. Bradley, seated at the front, frowned. "Ms. Jenkins, was it? The merger strengthens our portfolio. Datacore's clients are loyal, and we'll integrate their systems." "Loyal but declining," Clara countered. "Their retention rate dropped 20% last year. How do you plan to address that?" Bradley's smile tightened. "We have a strategy. It's complex, but rest assured, it's under control." Clara sat down, unconvinced. The board moved on, but she didn't. She started digging deeper, using her shareholder access to request financial audits and performance reports. She hired a lawyer, a quiet man named David Ellison, who specialized in corporate law. David was stunned when Clara revealed her stake. "You own 15% of Pinnacle?" he asked, staring at the documents. "And you're a janitor." "I'm a shareholder," Clara corrected. "The janitor part's just my job." David helped her navigate the legal maze, confirming her voting rights and board eligibility. Clara had no interest in a public role, but she wanted leverage. She began attending board meetings as a shareholder representative, still unnoticed by most. Her questions grew sharper, her presence more frequent. Bradley started to notice her, though he never connected her to the cleaning staff. To him, she was just an annoying investor with too many questions. By 2025, Pinnacle's stock was slipping. The Datacore merger had backfired, with clients jumping ship and employees quitting in droves. Bradley blamed market conditions, but Clara knew better. She'd seen the numbers: bloated executive bonuses, declining R&D budgets, and a 30% drop in customer satisfaction. She'd had enough. On October 12, 2025, Clara called David. "It's time," she said. "You sure?" he asked. "This is big, Clara. No going back." "I've been ready for 15 years, she replied. David filed the paperwork to convene an emergency board meeting. Clara's stake gave her the power to force a vote on leadership. She didn't tell Maya, who was home for fall break. She didn't tell anyone. She just kept working her shifts, her cart rattling through the halls. The meeting was set for October 20th. Bradley was confident, unaware of the storm brewing. He'd prepared a presentation blaming external factors for Pinnacle's woes, complete with charts and buzzwords. The boardroom was packed: 12 directors, Bradley, and a handful of major shareholders. Clara walked in at 9 a.m., wearing a simple black suit. No one recognized her. She took a seat near the back, her shareholder badge clipped to her lapel. The chair, Evelyn Harper, opened the meeting. "We're here to address concerns about the company's performance," she said. "Mr. Thornton, you have the floor." Bradley launched into his spiel. "The market's been tough," he began. "Global supply chains, inflation, competition. It's hit us hard. But I've got a plan to turn things around. We're streamlining operations, cutting costs and—" "Excuse me," Clara interrupted, standing. All eyes turned to her. "I'd like to propose a motion." Evelyn frowned. "Ms. Jenkins, this is irregular. We're in the middle of A vote of no confidence in Mr. Thornton's leadership, Clara said, her voice clear. As a shareholder with a 15% stake, I'm entitled to call it. The room erupted in murmurs. Bradley's face reddened. Who is this woman? He demanded. 15%. That's absurd. Who are you? Clara didn't flinch. Clara Jenkins. I've been a shareholder since 2010. And I've watched this company slide under your watch, Mr. Thornton. The DataCore merger was a disaster. You've cut R&D by 40%, laid off 2,000 employees, and driven away half our client base. I move to remove you as CEO, effective immediately. The board stared stunned. Evelyn recovered first. Ms. Jenkins, that's a serious accusation. Do you have evidence? Clara nodded to David, who stood and distributed a thick packet. These are financial audits, client retention reports, and employee satisfaction surveys from the past 3 years, David said. They show a clear pattern of mismanagement. Ms. Jenkins's stake gives her the right to call this vote, and I recommend the board take it seriously. Bradley laughed, but it was forced. This is ridiculous. I've led this company to record revenues. You can't just. Record revenues for who? Clara cut in. Your bonus last year was $8 million while the company lost $200 million in market value. You outsourced our core software development to save costs, and now our product lags behind competitors. I've seen it all, Mr. Thornton. I've been here longer than you. The board members flipped through the packet, their expressions darkening. One director, Michael Chen, spoke up. These numbers are concerning. Why weren't we shown this earlier? Because Mr. Thornton controls what you see, Clara said. I had to request these reports myself. Check page 17, client churn rates. Page 22, R&D cuts. It's all there. Bradley slammed his hand on the table. This is a witch hunt. Who is she anyway? Some activist investor trying to tank the company. Clara met his gaze. I'm no activist. I'm the woman who's been cleaning your office for 15 years. The room went silent. Bradley's jaw dropped. What? I'm the janitor, Clara said. I've mopped your floors, emptied your trash, and listened to your calls. I've seen how you treat people, how you cut corners. And I've owned a piece of this company since it was nothing. I believed in Pinnacle when no one else did. I'm not letting you ruin it. The board members exchanged looks. Evelyn cleared her throat. Ms. Jenkins, your role as an employee doesn't disqualify your rights as a shareholder. We'll proceed with the vote. Bradley sputtered. This is insane. You can't let a janitor. Enough, Evelyn snapped. We're voting. One by one, the directors cast their ballots. Clara sat, her hands folded, her face calm. Bradley paced, his confidence crumbling. When the votes were tallied, Evelyn stood. By a majority of 9-3, the board has voted to remove Bradley Thornton as CEO, effective immediately. Bradley stared, disbelieving. You can't do this. I built this company. No, Clara said quietly. We did. The engineers, the analysts, the support staff. I've seen them work late nights, same as me. You just took the credit. Security escorted Bradley out. He shouted threats, but they fell on deaf ears. The board turned to Clara. Ms. Jenkins, Evelyn said, your stake gives you significant influence. Do you have a recommendation for interim leadership? Clara nodded. Sarah Gwynn, our VP of Engineering. She's been with Pinnacle for 10 years, knows the product inside out and cares about the people. She'll steer us right. The board agreed to appoint Sarah interim CEO. As the meeting adjourned, directors approached Clara, some apologetic, others curious. Why didn't you tell anyone? Michael Chen asked. Didn't need to, Clara said. I was here to protect what I built, not to brag about it. That evening, Clara called Maya. Hey baby, she said. I've got something to tell you. What's up, Mom? Maya asked, her voice bright. I just fired the CEO of Pinnacle Solutions, Clara said. Maya laughed. What? "Mom, you're a janitor." Clara smiled. "Not just a janitor. Oh,